In the Radiant Wood, the companions debated what was to be done with their captives. Killian, the leprechaun, had his gold and weapons confiscated, and Roger laid out the terms of return. Killian would behave himself and help them track down the cube in exchange for payment. Salia proved to be more troublesome. Tordir and Roger agreed that they should execute her. Osric was able to convince them to turn her over to the authorities after pointing out that they were facing adversaries that had returned from the dead already. While returning to Lumiere to turn her in, a tiefling emerged from the shadows with a warning for Roger. An open contract was placed upon his head, and she was there to help him, although she had her own reasons. After dropping Salia off to be held by the Order of Light, the party returned to the Radiant Wood, this time journeying to the center. The core of the wood was a giant tree, glowing from within with its own light. At Roger's touch, the tree presented a series of riddles. The party was able to solve the clues and gain access to the interior of the tree. Once inside, the key's choice was to be made. 2 doors stood before him, one light and one dark. Borrowing Tordir's Ring of Vision, Roger surveyed the 2 before choosing the darker door. Leaving the tree, a meteor streaked overhead and impacted near the companion's location. Inspecting the location, they found the first of the draconic representatives upon the world, the Copper Knight. The champion inquired to the status of the world and was directed to the Order's Grand Library, being both nearby and comprehensive with the information he sought. As the knight took his leave, the party decided to return to the capital as well, to plan their next move. Arriving in the luminous capital again, the party's intent to research their further leads was interrupted by the Copper Knight's vandalizing of the library, taking one of the articles and flying off. Unable to access the library, they happened to run into another group of adventurers, who seemed to be aware of the strange zombies that accompany the crystal shard, as well as the shards themselves. The 2 groups relocated to a private room to compare notes. The newcomers were members of the Swords of Braylon, an adventuring guild from the far side of the continent. They relayed their tale and shared the knowledge regarding the source of the crystal shards. Circumstances led to the Mind Flayer Zam learning of their location and coming to confront them. Setting out ahead of his arrival, the group traveled swiftly from the island headed for the mainland. Along the way, the Copper Knight appeared to them again and borrowed Roger, disappearing with the sorcerer. Reaching the shores of the Kingdom of Thunderoak, the combined group split up. Most of the swords headed out in search of further shards, now that they had more information on how to find them. The barbarian Wadeland Hans joined with the Key's former companions as they set out for the Empire of the Banished. According to the Order of Light, that was the location of the largest gold hoard in the world, which would be an irresistible target to their next order of business, the Leprechaun McHugh.